Hello, Ryan here, and welcome to Star Citizen Sunday. This is a weekly show which covers all of the news from the week just past. Be sure to subscribe if you like what you see, and let's get on with it. This week, 3.10 finally releases to Wave 1, plus we hear more regarding the Pyro Crab. Before we do begin, courtesy of one of my channel members, The Doctor, we have a Mantis standalone ship to give away. All you've got to do is be subscribed to my YouTube channel and comment below with what you're most excited for 3.10. This will be drawn on the 27th. Do not miss out. So I just wanted to do another quick update regarding 3.10. Yesterday on my roadmap video, I mentioned how stable the 3.10 build was and that I have only experienced 3 30Ks since its release. Now, after reading through a lot of the comments on that video, I hear that a lot of people are having a much worse time than I am. It sounds like, sort of similar to 3.9, people are having a very different experience to other people. I must be one of the lucky ones, as I have seen others saying that they have had tons of 30Ks, consistent 30Ks, like in one day, 25 30Ks. So do bear that in mind, that it is likely a case-by-case situation. I don't know what the resolve is for each person or what it is that's causing it for more people than others. It could be hardware, it could be software, who knows what is going on. I just wanted to let people know that as much as it's smooth for me, it doesn't necessarily mean that it will be smooth for you. I do hope that you have the best experience when it does come to a wave that you're able to play, and also when it goes to live, I hope it's smooth for everybody, but I thought it was worth pointing out that it's not the same for every person. So this week's Star Citizen Live spent some time with concept artist Jeremiah Lee and Chance, who is the character art director, talking about the process that they go through when concepting something like an armor set. Now, they tasked themselves with designing an armor set that would belong to maybe a Pyro survivalist, someone who would salvage parts from the Pyro Crab to protect themselves from the elements. Now, this isn't 100% going to be, or going to make it into the game. Like with most game dev streams, it is more of an exploration of the process rather than the final product. But who knows, maybe one day we will get to see this. Now, this concept of the Pyro survivalist does sound like it could be a likely and pretty awesome thing to see, so let's hope that they do create them, because I'm pretty sure that a set of armor found in Pyro from these guys will be worth quite a bit somewhere else in the verse. So there wasn't a lot to be said or anything too new to us that I would class as news, but one of the questions was what would be the perk of this sort of beast armor. Now, they have been discussing the potential for high rewards if you decide to engage with something like a Pyro Crab. That risk reward will likely be very high. So, for example, maybe the crab's shell is a craftable resource or it's very valuable. Pyro is to be a harsh environment with lots of solar storms and radiation, so this shell would probably provide some protection. All of this is to be determined, but this armor could provide maybe better radiation resistance. Now, I've noticed them recently talking a little bit more about crafting, and from what I remember, this wasn't part of the original plan, but since hearing about these refinery decks having the ability to craft so long as you have the materials or the minerals to craft an item, you can use maybe a display at the refinery deck. So not physically putting them together yourself, maybe more of you stick these items into a machine and then it's done for you. I guess similar to how the Pioneer would build an outpost for someone. You don't physically put it together, but as long as you've got the materials, you design the type of outpost you want and then it would create it. Now, it all sounds very intriguing. Do let me know what your thoughts are here, and we can probably discuss this on the next stream that I have next week. Talking about the Pyro Crab though, we did get some more information on this creature. Now, it will be native to Pyro 1, and they were discussing sort of what would make it make sense to be here, to belong here. They did say it's a naturally occurring creature which has just evolved. It's a predator which hunts other prey and potentially humans in this case, if these survivalists live there. And they've decided that the large crab that we see is a queen of a hive, and the smaller crabs are kind of its babies that use cave systems to lay their eggs in. So we will see clusters of them inside caves on Pyro 1. Pretty exciting, that. Now, they also discussed what the crab would be doing on the surface and how the player may come across it, how it can camouflage itself within the rocks around them and hunker down until someone comes along. Other questions that they will need to answer are what are the other creatures that exist on this planet, like other predators, non-predators, ones that they eat. I really love how deeply they create everything in this game. These crabs, or any creature for that matter, won't just be sitting around waiting for the player to arrive and then they'll just go about what's expected of them. They will have a day-night cycle, and you will likely be able to watch them for a while and just sort of see what they're doing and going about their business. Now, I would love for a future sort of science mission would be to research these creatures, or any creature in the verse. Could be on a planet that we already know, that we've just discovered, anything. But gathering data and footage or something, maybe reporting back to the Galactopedia or the ICC, maybe, researching their eating habits, their mating habits, or whatever it is they do, taking pictures and just researching them. I think that would be a really cool science mission that we could take part in. Anyway, the next question was to do with its bioluminescence. Wasn't really mentioned too much about that, but they did say that the smaller crabs are more soft shell creatures, and then they get harder shells over time. This would also play into the gameplay, like they were saying about the mother crab or the large crab having a very valuable hard shell, which gives that risk reward. She's more of a challenge. If you manage to take her down, then you get the reward of the shell. Whereas the softer shell creatures, the baby crabs, killing them will be really easy, but you don't get much of a reward for doing so. The final question really for this show was about the balance of function and coolness. There are limitations that they have to abide by. Modularity means that there are a set of metrics, for example. If they are not excited about something, though, they will change it. Immersion and realism is really important for this game. So if it is too out there, then they will feel that it doesn't fit. And everything needs to have a reason and a backstory. They're not just putting something in for the sake of it, but when they do put something in, they want to make sure it is cool and it is grounded with the lore. It's quite interesting to see the process that is being done there. Not a great deal of information to be learnt, but I did love hearing more about the Pyro Crab and about maybe potential of survivalists, so I thought it was worth pointing that out to you all. Anyway, let's move on. So also this week, there was a new portfolio post talking about the Grey Cat Industries. Perfect timing for the new ROC, I think. So that brings us to the end of the show. If you do enjoy my content, please consider subscribing and hitting that like button. Also, I am able to do this thanks to my very generous patrons and channel members. If you appreciate what I do and would like to help make it even better from as little as $1 a month, all of the links are provided below.